everybody. My name is Sara Pulido and my pronouns are she, her, hers. I'm a rising third year at UCSD and I'm on the Postgrad and Professional Success Committee for Spaces Summer Summit Series. This video is the last of four. Three of us should already be posted to our Spaces YouTube, talking about resources for the transfer process and how you can be as successful as possible throughout your journey. In this video, I will be talking about building financial literacy and managing your money. This is by no means an exhaustive presentation, so I encourage you to do some of your own research on these topics in order to fully understand how they apply to you. This is mostly a beginner guide to financial independence and decision making. So let's get into it. For the agenda today, I'm going to be doing a land acknowledgement and then talking about credit, debt management, stocks and investing, fellowships and how to find them, and then I'll be talking about a scholarship opportunity. So Spaces holds great respect for the land and the original people of the area where our campus is located. The university was built upon the unceded territory of the Kamiya Nation. Today, the Kamiya people continue to maintain the political sovereignty and cultural traditions as vital members of the community. We are honored to share this space with them, and we proudly work with them in solidarity. We humbly thank them for their stewardship of Matkulaksu. And I encourage y'all to visit kamiya.com for more information about the Kamiya people and how they exist all around us today, and share this space with us. So, okay, talking about credit. What is credit? Well, credit score tells lenders about your credit worthiness. And so this is measuring how risky you would be or reliable to lend money to. So when lenders loan money to you, whether for a credit card, auto loan, or a mortgage, they want to see if you are in good standing with paying back your money and paying back your money on time, and if you're a reliable spender. So in order to prevent your credit score from dropping, you should pay all your debt on time and try not to rack up debt. So for if you want to know how many credit cards you should be having, you should only have as many as you can take care of very well and keep up with. So credit score is composed of a few things, and this is the most popular breakdown, which is through the FICO or Fair Isaac Corporation score. All of these add up to a range from 300 to 850, and you should try to keep it with or above the 700 range, because that's good to excellent. So that means you're in good standing and you have good credit history. So in terms of these percentages and how credit lenders or lenders determine your credit worthiness. So the 35% payment history. This is how often you make payments on your credit, like paying back your credit card bill and if you pay them on time. 30% credit utilization is also the amount you owe. So how much of your credit you use every time you use it also. Basically every time you use your credit card, for example, do you do big purchases each time, or do you do small purchases each time? It doesn't necessarily matter if you do big or small purchases, as long as they're not very, very large. But also, one of the biggest things to pay attention to is if they see inconsistencies in how you spend your money. If you always spend a small amount and then one day you spend $1,000 on your credit card, I don't know if that's even possible. But if you do that, they will see this as like a random spike, and then it seems like a risky purchase. So they're gonna like observe your purchases and just keep an eye on that. So your credit score will go down. It will level out as long as you pay on time. And if you consistently, for example, buy like the same amount of purchases and then you pay your rent with your credit card each month, that's obviously going to be sort of like a big purchase. But since it's every month at the same time, eventually it won't affect your credit score if you have these consistent big purchases. Either way, it'll level out as long as you take care of it and pay back. So length of credit history makes up 15%. So this basically means the longer you have lines of credit open, the more trustworthy you seem. So they know you're not going to suddenly close a line of credit because you've held on to it for a long time. And so it's not, again, a risk because you are relying on this line of credit and you're not just going to like fall out of it. So they won't like lose your account standing or your business. And then 10% credit mix. This is like your ability to manage different types of credit, including accounts on credit cards, retail accounts, installment loans, and finance company and mortgage loans. It's basically just looking at your ability to handle multiple types of different accounts. And it's okay if you don't have a large spectrum of different types of accounts. But if you do, you handle them all well and like, you're responsible with them. And then for the last 10%, which is new credit, this is like how many new lines of credit you have. And it also looks at, of the lines you have, how many are new. So like, that sounds a little bit confusing, but it not only looks at, do you have a lot of new lines? So are most of your lines new? And also like, yeah, that basically explains it. So like the advice here is don't open new lines rapidly or a lot within one period. It looks very risky and it looks like you're making big money choices just kind of out of the blue. So with a lot of these credit behaviors, your credit score will go down, but it will always level back up. Like I said, as long as you pay it back and as long as you keep track of it and are responsible with it and stuff like that. And as long as you take care of it, it should be fine. A temporary drop in your credit score is not the worst thing, especially since it has the potential to go back. So now I'm going to be talking about debt management. And one way to manage your debt is financial tracking. So besides paying on time and not using your card or your credit card for everything, financial tracking is also something you can utilize. It'll help you see your purchases to maintain a healthy budget. It enables you to adjust your spending habits and make better purchasing decisions. And it allows you to be consistent and accountable, which is always what you want. It's good to ask for encouragement and help though. So keep in mind, especially like as a beginner, it's okay to have a realistic goal in mind. And don't be too hard on yourself in the beginning, especially when you're just starting out with changing your spending behaviors. So with budget or with financial tracking, what you can do is make a tracking worksheet. This is an idea of via Card America, and you can basically like do it on Google Docs, whatever, or just write it down. So there's going to be 4 columns, but for the first column, you're going to write categorized expenses, and basically you'll make a list of all your monthly expense categories. Different categories include childcare, transportation, food, insurance, clothing, retirement, how much you put away for retirement, if you do, medical, gym, entertainment, and then you can create a miscellaneous category for things that don't fall into those previous categories. And in order to get a feel for like a proper categorization of these purchases, you can review past bank statements. And Yeah, okay. And then in column 2 for projected cost, you'll estimate the amount of money you expect to spend in each category. And so your projected cost should not exceed your total monthly income. That's the ideal, because this helps us to control our spending and our overspending. So if it does exceed your total monthly income, you need to make some adjustments, and that's what we're doing this worksheet for. So consider cutting entertainment expenses and other non-essentials until your income allows for them. This is not to say like don't live your life and have fun, but if you are starting with this budget tracking, and you are purposefully trying to cut down, then you should be in a place where it is okay for you to cut things like entertainment expenses. So for column 3, actual costs, you have to keep track of your actual costs over the month and observe your spending behavior and stuff like that. And then at the end of the month, tally all of your expenses, every single purchase that you can possibly account for. And then at the end, you'll make column 4, which is the difference, and you'll evaluate your spending for the month, calculate the difference between your projected cost and actual cost, and record the difference. And then this way you can ask yourself a few questions, and this is where the growth and learning comes in, because you actually are able to view what you thought you would do versus what you actually did, and where the gap is and what you need to change and fix in order to get to your goals. And so where did you fall below your budget? Where did you achieve long-term goals? Also, where did you go over your budget? What are your goals for next month? How long will it take to achieve these goals? And overall, how do you feel about your finances this month? So this can be kind of intimidating, but again, it's really just to help you, so you're able to be very realistic about it. It's not for anyone else but you, and it just will help you begin to have consistent and accountable spending behaviors. So now I'm going to be talking about stocks and investing. So stocks have become, at least from my observations, pretty popular recently for people to just kind of as a way to get passive income, which basically means you kind of do something once and then watch the money roll. So stocks are also known as equities, and they represent ownership of a portion of a company or corporation, and it means that you are now entitled to a portion of their assets and profits once you purchase a stock. So companies do this to raise funds for their business. And when you buy a stock, it means that you become a shareholder, which means a bunch of different things, like you're able to vote in shareholder meetings, receive dividends, and buy or sell your shares as you see fit. Now, once you sell your share back after a period of time, the way you profit is if it sells for higher than what you bought it for. And I believe that this comes from just the market kind of going up, or that business becoming more profitable or popular. So you profit based on higher prices at the time of selling. And I got this graphic from The Balance. I'm pretty sure they have a lot of good advice on a lot of financial literacy things, actually. So trading and investing, when I was talking about selling back your stock after a period of time, there's different periods of time that you can hold your stock. So there's day trading and swing trading, first of all, which is shorter term. So this is like buying stocks and trading in a day or a period of a few weeks or a month. And you have to watch your stocks pretty often here, because you're holding it for such a small amount of time that it's very dependent on every single change. And so this is where the highest risk is, but there's a potential for it. And so risk in this sense also is separate from what I was talking before about credit, but obviously risk across the board means that you have the potential to lose money. So within credit, I was talking about lenders losing money, but now I'm talking about you losing money. But there is potential for gain for day trading and swing trading. And so long-term investing is the next thing. And it's when you buy and hold stocks for years, multiple years. This is mostly when you believe in a company's mission and its purpose, and so you actually believe it'll succeed and you want to stay with them for a long period of time. There's less risk here because you have more room for kind of mistakes or improvement along the market. And you don't have to supervise your stock like chart every single day, but a lot of people do. So like I said, this is just another way to get passive income. If you're not sure what that is, or you want to look into it more, I encourage just like looking that up. I think there's a lot of ways to just make money after doing one simple thing and then like letting yourself get profits after that. Kind of like, if you want to think about it like writing a book, and then you only write the book once, you only do the work once, but you get income from it, from the royalties every time it sells over like multiple years. So yeah, I would say just look up passive income and you'll probably find a lot of different things. So the next category is fellowships and how to find them. And so what are fellowships? They're basically advanced scholarships. They're short-term programs with support for continuing education. They last from a few months to a few years, and they're awarded by and funded by universities and colleges, corporations, nonprofits, etc. So they include a lot of professional development and training. So training can look like a bunch of different things. There's academic seminars to develop frameworks and apply theory. There's in-depth research and analysis of a particular issue area. That's the main focus of the fellowship. It's you choosing what area to focus on, if it's not already chosen for you. And there's a broad curriculum of skills development. So like I said, you'll learn leadership and public speaking, grant writing, etc. And of course, it all depends on the field in which your fellowship is, but you will always develop a lot of skills. However, it's not comparable to like a full-time job, especially with the compensation. Most programs provide a living allowance or stipend, but like I said, not comparable to the salary of a full-time job. Also because this varies greatly depending on which one you apply to and which one you get into. So stipends can range from $10,000 to $25,000 for a 9 to 12 month program, but incentives also may include healthcare coverage, student loan repayment assistance, and stuff like that. So you obviously have to look into it to see how much you would be compensated, but nonetheless, it would be a really rewarding program. And you would certainly like get further into the academic field and research field, I suppose. Kind of the same thing, or they overlap a lot. So for finding and landing fellowships, it's not too hard to find fellowships because there's a lot of prominent colleges and universities that maintain databases. So like even the CDC has a database for fellowships, and additional databases and search engines include all of these listed below. And these are very unique. Everyone's very unique. Like they have fellowships for a lot of things, especially since you're able to personalize it to your own interests. And so since we're here in San Diego, there is a fellowship example here from risesandiego.org. It basically requires that you be from the San Diego community with engagement, like with community engagement, like leadership within your community, volunteering, etc. You have to be a high school graduate, and it's a 12-month program. It is closed for this year, for 2021, but it opens back up next year, I believe in June. So it looked like a really good fellowship, so I encourage if you want to. Yeah. And finally, about the application process. So there's a proposal, and it's an opportunity to introduce yourself, explain what you intend to accomplish, and present your case of why you're the right candidate. You want to keep it simple, but not too simple, obviously, just like get straight to the point. It helps to really be clear and confident with prompts like this. So you should write the way you speak, not too informally, but definitely not super strict with trying to sound any type of way. Authenticity comes through very clearly with these type of things. So you want to demonstrate your knowledge in terms that those not in your field will understand, because you want to make it sort of conversational, but of course this is always a thin line to balance, so just be careful with that. You should state your accomplishments, but don't overdo it. And then you should revise, proofread, and then revise again. So it's always good to consult a mentor for feedback. There's usually, if not always, an interview. So make sure to revisit specific details of the fellowship program. You can look up like the fellowship, who's offering it, their missions, their values, things like that. Anything you can find essentially on the topic, on the people who offer it, on where it's going to be, just to make sure you are completely prepared and there's no gaps in your knowledge about it. You should prepare some questions so that they know you're fully invested in it. Also that you're curious, you're genuinely curious about it and excited for it. And also, honestly, just see if it's a good enough thing for you. Because obviously you have nothing to lose in the interview. You're trying to get the fellowship, but if you want to maximize this opportunity for you, you should be thinking about it in terms of, this is an opportunity for me, and why do you want me as a candidate? But obviously, don't be overconfident. You should also anticipate curveballs, just because, I mean, it is hard to anticipate curveballs, but this is the way you do that, is be as prepared as possible. And my personal philosophy with that is like, if I'm questioning whether or not I'm prepared fully, then I'm not. So you know, if you are, you will know. Okay, so that is the end of my financial literacy presentation. I really hope that you guys learned something from that. You can take something away to manage your own finances and become more financially independent and confident. So I want to talk now about our tech scholarship that we're offering. I know this will be posted to our YouTube, so just know that this is only for August 1st, 2021. It is due August 1st, which is, I believe, a Sunday. Not quite sure. But so the Spaces Summer Summit 2021 Tech Scholarship, it's open to any California high school and community college students. You cannot be a recently graduated high school senior who plans to attend a four-year institution. It's for community college students. So the prize is an iPad with an Apple Pen and a keyboard case. And we'll be offering that to 2 community college students and 3 high school students. Here are all the details on how to enter. And for high school students, this prompt is actually 500 words, and for community college students, it's 1,000 words. You can send it as a PDF to spacesshapes@gmail.com by 11:59 p.m. August 1st. And the prompt is, our summer summit this year is BLOOM, which stands for Building Leadership, Opportunities, Outcome, and Movement. So you should reflect on our theme and write an essay about what it means to you. This can mean a leadership opportunity that helped you bloom. So yes, I wish anyone who applies the best of luck with that. And yeah, let's see. Also, The last thing I want to say is this is our schedule, our calendar for the rest of Summer Summit series. So this video should be posted right here, the 30th of July, and there's going to be a bunch of other things, opportunities to look out for, like on Zoom, Instagram, or no, not Zoom, Instagram Live and things like that. So you should look out for that on our Spaces Instagram and YouTube, and keep yourself updated.